I'm American, born and raised in America. You mean to tell me 7-Eleven is Japanese? What?
Yokohama classic. From Alabama to Baltimore. Somehow ended up in Kawagoe, Kowedo, Dinko, Shigaya, and now Midori War, my new home. Yeah, they know. It's your boy, Dory Durrell. Got another story to tell.
Alright, this is your boy, Dorian Andrews, aka Dory Durrell, with the Dory Durrell Music Channel. And I want to thank you guys for tuning in. Today is a special episode. So in this episode, I will be explaining to you why 7-Eleven is not American. It's actually Japanese. And there's a lot of facts and proof for that. First and foremost, 7-Eleven Japan. It's in the name, Japan. I had no idea. 7-Eleven Japan Corporated Limited, or Kabuki Gaisha 7-Eleven Japan, is a Japanese convenience store chain headquartered in Chiyoda-ku, Tokyo. It is a subsidiary of 7&I Holdings and 7-Eleven Incorporated, which owns the global 7-Eleven franchise. The company was established in 1973 as York 7 by the supermarket chain Ito-Yokado. I have been there before. It's a pretty decent supermarket. I wouldn't say it's the best. You got OK Mart, you got Alba, Daiye. Daiye is a really good one too. In collaboration with Southland Corporation, now known as 7-Eleven Incorporated, an American convenience store chain. As of 2020, 7-Eleven is the largest convenience store chain in Japan in terms of sales and number of stores. In addition, it is one of the largest retail chains in Japan in terms of sales. In November 2005, it acquired full ownership of the original 7-Eleven Incorporated. How did we not know this? This says in 2005. 5? I thought it was still American in like 2016 when I studied abroad in Japan for the first time. So how did we not know this? Let's dive into the history. In August 28th of 1973, Ito-Yokado announced a licensing agreement with Southland Corporation, an American convenience store chain known as 7-Eleven, to develop convenience stores in Japan. So Southland Corporation is an American convenience store chain, and all of their stores were called 7-Eleven. They decided to partner up with Ito-Yokado to create 7-Eleven in Japan, basically. The agreement granted Ito-Yokado the franchise rights to establish a network of convenience stores. They aimed to expand the convenience store chain with approximately 2 years and a set goal of reaching around 2,000 to 3,000 stores with a minimum target of 1,500 stores. In November of that same year, 1973, the convenience store known as York 7 was established. So you're taking 7-Eleven and York or Yokado, put it together, it's York 7. In May of 1974, that following year, the first ever store in Japan opened in Toyosu, which is in Koto-ku of Tokyo, or Koto Ward. This marked the debut of the first full-fledged franchise convenience store in Japan. In June of the following year, the first 24-hour operation was introduced at a store in Koriyama, which is in Fukushima Prefecture. In January of 1978, York 7 changed its corporate name to 7-Eleven Japan. In 1987, partnered with Tokyo Electric Power Company to enable electricity bill payments at 1,600 of the stores in Tokyo and later in 8 neighboring prefectures. And now you can pay any bills at a 7-Eleven. I just went and took out money from the ATM at 7-Eleven, paid off my phone bill and my Wi-Fi bill right before I started recording this video. So it's amazing how convenient 7-Eleven is now. In 1988, it became possible to make payments for Tokyo Gas at 7-Eleven stores. And in 1989, payments for life insurance and even NHK were also made available. And in 1981, it was designated for listing on the Tokyo Stock Exchange, the first section. It moved up. And in 1988, the number of 7-Eleven stores was around 3,200. On November 14th, 1989, SEJ announced that it had reached a basic agreement to acquire all 57 7-Eleven stores in Hawaii from Southland Corporation. Remember, this is the American corporation which owns all the 7-Elevens in America. For $75 million, they acquired all of the Hawaiian stores, and that is approximately, give or take, 16 billion yen. Southland Corporation had become a target of a takeover by an investigator group around 1986, and to counter this, the Thompson family spent around $5 billion to repurchase all of their own shares starting from 1987. However, the burden of the debt became significant, leading to the piecemeal sale of the Hawaii stores. In March 22nd, the following year, SEJ announced once again it had reached a basic agreement to acquire the Southland Corporation. With the corporation of creditors, it was agreed that Yokado Group would acquire 75% of Southland Corporation's shares for a total of $400 million, which is around 60 billion yen. Remember this, they had 75% at this time. This is still 1989. As a prerequisite for the acquisition, SEJ intended to recover Southland Corporation's junk bonds, totaling around $1.8 billion, from the bondholders and exchange them for new low-interest corporate bonds and common stock. However, some bondholders resisted parting with the high-yield junk bonds, making the recovery difficult. After several negotiation deadline extensions, SEJ finally revealed on October 24th that it had applied to the U.S. Bankruptcy Court for the implementation of Southland Corporation's restructuring plan. The court approved the restructuring plan, and on March 6th of 1991, SEJ announced the completion of the acquisition process, purchasing 70% of the company's stock for $430 million, which is around 56 billion yen. So Ito Yokado was fighting to get all of the shares and stocks that they wanted from this Southland Corporation, because they know 7-Eleven is a big hit and they wanted to continue that success in Japan. But they couldn't do that with Southland still holding on to the shares. Southland Corporation was struggling. Ito Yokado kind of saw the company as dead weight. On August 24th, 1995, SEJ announced its full-scale expansion into the Kansai region with Osaka as the central location. Everybody loves Osaka, right? They employed a strategy of concentrating store openings in specific regions to streamline operations. It eventually led into Kyoto, Shiga, and also other parts of Osaka Prefecture. The sales just kept rising and rising, and now you see 7-Eleven everywhere. In May 1999, SEJ announced its plans to form partnerships with 4 city banks: Sakura Bank, Tokyo Mitsubishi Bank, Sanwa Bank, and Asahi Bank. The goal was to install automated teller machines in all of its 7,780 stores across the country by the following summer. Other convenience store chains had already begun similar partnerships. Lawson, which is one of the most popular convenience store chains in Japan, had already partnered with Sanwa and Fuji Bank. In April 20th, 2005, Ito Yokado and its subsidiary 7-Eleven Japan and Denny's Japan announced their plans to establish a holding company called 7&I Holdings, effective September 1st of that year. Under this new management construction, various companies would come under the umbrella of the holding company. While Ito Yokado's performance was struggling, SEJ continued to perform well. Over 90% of Ito Yokado's consolidated operating profit was generated by the convenience store business. The market capitalization of the stocks also reflected this trend. The establishment of the holding company was aimed at preventing hostile takeovers by consolidating and protecting the companies within the group. I think this was a very smart move by the company. In September of that year, 2005, SEJ announced its intention to launch a tender offer, a special offer, in the US market to acquire the remaining 27.7% of the issued shares of 7-Eleven Incorporated, which it did not already own, thereby making it a wholly owned subsidiary. The estimated total value of the tender offer was approximately $1 billion, 111 billion yen. In November 9th, it was announced that they had acquired 95.4% of the issued shares, and the remaining shares were acquired through compulsory acquisition based on the laws of the state of Texas, thereby establishing it as a wholly owned subsidiary. This is when 7-Eleven officially became 100% Japan now. There is no inkling of American ownership anymore. On July 11th, 2019, 7-Eleven made its first entry into Okinawa, achieving their goal in having stores in all 47 prefectures in Japan. Some of the sources of this information comes from some Japanese magazines such as the Mainichi Shimbun and also Yomiuri Shimbun, articles from Asahi Shimbun. So what do you think about this? Did you know that 7-Eleven was Japanese? Did you know that it was originally from America and then became a collaboration with Japan that eventually led to Japan just taking over the whole business? There are no friends in business, that's what they say. And now Japan has conquered 7-Eleven, and it is the biggest convenience store chain in Japan. So what do you think about this? This is your boy, Dory Durrell, from the Dory Durrell Music Channel. Please like, comment, and subscribe. Like, comment, and subscribe for more details and more interesting information about Japan. Thank you for watching, and I will see you next time. Signing out. Deuce, deuce.